And in 2022, the world champions are Argentina.
When it comes to a career as great as that of Lionel Messi, it's impossible to cover every incredible moment and detail that played a part in his legendary career. La Pulga has been a colossus for club and country since his first couple of years at the senior level, always shouldering the pressure that comes with wearing both Argentina and Barcelona's legendary number 10. However, whilst the number and the responsibility that came with it meant something prior to him wearing it, the meaning and significance it has gained since his arrival will weigh like an anchor for the next generation of players who dare to take on the challenge. Today, we look at the World Cup career of the greatest Argentine player in history and how his perseverance through his early failures and struggles at international level curated the leader, icon, and World Cup champion that he is today. Defeating France in the final at Lusail Stadium in front of a packed crowd that witnessed history as the little magician raised the ever-elusive World Cup for the first time in his career. However, perhaps the reason it means so much more, especially for those of a neutral stance, is because this World Cup has been widely accepted, even by Messi, as the last World Cup of his career. And even though he hasn't closed the door on international football altogether, it's clear Messi is less than likely to compete at the next World Cup. Therefore, with everyone under the impression that this would be his last attempt at securing the only trophy he's never won, many around the world had one dream: for Messi to win the World Cup for Argentina. You see, Messi's journey at the international level, particularly in World Cups prior to 2022, has been a tale of scintillating highs and dramatic lows. From his disappointing showing during the 2010 tournament to his epic run to the 2014 final, Leo Messi's World Cup journey has been a topic amongst fans when comparing him with the very best ever. In 2006, an 18-year-old Leo Messi made his World Cup debut during Argentina's second group stage game against Serbia and Montenegro, earning a goal and an assist in his first showing. He would go on to start in Argentina's last group match against the Netherlands. However, he would be benched for the following two knockout games as Argentina were eliminated by Germany in the quarterfinals. And better yet, they would lose on penalties, with Messi not seeing a minute on the pitch. His next appearance was at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, when the Argentine was looked upon by many as, without doubt, the best player in the world. Messi came fresh off a monster season for his club, scoring 47 goals and providing 14 assists in 53 appearances. However, for Argentina, he had only managed to bag 4 goals in 18 qualifying matches leading up to the tournament. Unfortunately for Argentina, his poor form at international level continued into the tournament, with the number 10 only managing to register 1 assist against Mexico in the round of 16, before being dumped out by Germany once again, but this time in a 4-0 drubbing. Fast forward to 2014, Messi was perhaps at the absolute peak of his superpowers, and this time, he would be captaining his country at the World Cup. The pressure was firmly on, especially after receiving widespread backlash from the Argentine media after his lackluster 2010 tournament, not being able to lead Argentina the way Maradona had in 1986. Messi was more than ready to prove all of his doubters wrong. And he did almost that, leading Argentina all the way to the World Cup final in Brazil before being heartbroken in extra time via a spectacular finish from Mario Götze, denying Messi from once again living up to the expectations of those that were constantly critical of his lack of success at international level. Messi would go on to briefly retire from international football in 2016, after losing the Copa America final to Chile in penalties before doing a swift 180 on his decision just a couple months later. The 2018 World Cup originally felt like Messi's last shot at the Cup, with Argentina's federation and team cultivating the narrative that everything in their push would be about Messi. Who could forget the infamous Messi and Friends movement? However, the turnaround proved to be too quick for their previous failures, and whilst Argentina were collectively united in their goal to fight for a World Cup to culminate the career of their legend, the self-belief, quality, and confidence it takes each individual on a team to have in order to win a World Cup was simply missing from everyone aside from the number 10. The Albiceleste had a rough time patching over the shortcomings of the past, and although they had reached the round of 16 of the tournament after encountering a turbulent group phase, it would ultimately be as far as they would get, falling to eventual winners France 4-3 at full time. Many who examined Argentina and Messi's future at international level, in particular after 2018, came to the conclusion that the best a legendary forward could hope for would be a Cinderella run to a Copa America win in the coming years, although many did not give them a chance in achieving that either. Messi's window for international glory had presumed to be closed, with many believing the little magician had not capitalized on the many finals he made and that his page had inevitably passed. However, Argentina would get significantly better between 2018 and the following World Cup in 2022, adding crucial players such as Rodrigo de Paul, Emiliano Martinez, Leandro Paredes, and Julian Alvarez, who were quickly asserting themselves as some of the best players in world football. A new-look Argentina with fresh energy and a hunger to fight for not only Messi's success, but the success of their own dreams that they aspired for themselves at a young age as well. With a veteran core, an established leader, and renewed motivation via a fresh young revamp of the squad, Argentina were suddenly one of the strongest international sides heading into 2021. And they proved their worth when they defeated arch-rivals Brazil in the final of the Copa America, securing Messi's first international trophy and propelling Argentina to a 36-game unbeaten streak heading into the World Cup in Qatar. The Albiceleste were the outright favorites for many pundits and fans around the globe heading into the Cup, with many pointing to their record-tying streak as proof that this year was going to be the year that Messi would finally lift the Cup. However, that belief was shaken when the favorites lost their opening World Cup match against Group Minnows, Saudi Arabia. The shock sent wavelengths throughout the sport, with many having flashbacks to 2018 when it seemed like everything was going wrong for the Argentinians. But Argentina bounced back, bulldozing past both Mexico and Poland in the group before dominating Australia in the round of 16. Their first big test in the tournament would be against the Netherlands, who were in the midst of their own 18-game unbeaten streak, looking as good as the Dutch have looked since 2014. However, Messi and Argentina would slide through to the semi-final off the back of some Emi Martinez heroics in the penalty shootout. As we know, Argentina easily managed their game against Croatia, with Messi having one of the best games in the tournament against the 2018 finalists, dashing and dancing past Josko Gvardiol in one of the most absurd sequences I've ever seen in football. With that, La Pulga and his golden dream of lifting Argentina above the world was once again just one win away from being an absolute reality. The World Cup final, which took place on December 18th, 2022, will be remembered as quite possibly the greatest final in the history of the competition, with both Mbappe and Messi bringing their absolute best performances in the biggest games of their careers. And finally, after 120 minutes of scintillating football and another 6 to 8 minutes of a nail-biting shootout, Leo Messi has plunged and plundered, striking gold with Argentina, bringing home the Albiceleste's first World Cup since 1986, and their third in their storied history. In my many years of watching the greatest sport on the planet, I can firmly say I have never experienced the amount of emotion, passion, and energy that Messi's World Cup triumph has brought out of people all across the globe. This win was not only a win for Argentina, or the final missing piece to an otherwise stellar career, it was a win for the collective community, for sport, and for those that believe in storybook endings. Argentina's victory was a redemption against Croatia and France, who emphatically beat the Albiceleste during their dark period of 2018. A redemption against Europeans who doubted the success and competitiveness of South American teams, and most notably, a redemption against the journalists, pundits, and fans that doubted the greatness and ability of the Messiah. Like Diego in '86, the great man was paraded around Lusail Stadium, with many now fully proclaiming him as the undisputed GOAT of the great game. Believe it or not, there will still be those that doubt Messi's place amongst the best of all time. However, no matter the debates or opinions, nobody will ever be able to emulate or recapture the hearts of so many millions, quite like Leo Messi at the 2022 World Cup. And it goes without saying, his legacy is engraved in the very highest peaks of football greatness.